Hello boys and girls, happy Tuesday. What I want you to do right now is grab your orange math book so we can practice a few of our homework problems together before we get to small groups today. Okay, so you're going to open up to page 34 and 35, okay? During this video today, we're going to be doing page 35. Oops, you can't really see that, but 35 right here, 35. We're going to do two problems together to make sure you are ready for what we learned today in class, as well as ready to get your homework done this afternoon, okay? So on page 35, we're going to do number 3, letter A, and letter D, okay? So letter A says 234 plus 65 equals, we need to figure out what our total is going to be, okay? That's what we're looking for. So luckily, it's already set up for us, which is pretty nice. The stacking method is what we're going to do for this whole page. The stacking method, which means one number's on top, one number's below, and we add ones, tens, and hundreds together, okay? So our first task is to figure out what is 4 plus 5 more. What is 4 plus 5 more in our ones place? I want you to write that number down. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Okay, if you had trouble figuring that out, think of it this way. What if this number was a 5? That makes it easier. 5 plus 5 is 10. Okay, so if we think 5 plus 5 is 10, take 1 away is 4, then we get 9. Okay, so that's another way to think about it if you were having a hard time adding 4 plus 5. Okay, next task is to add our tens place. 6 plus 3 or 3 plus 6. How are we going to add these two together? 3 plus 6 is, what do you think? 9. Very good. And then last step, bring that down 2. Okay. So we put our answer in here, 299. Very good. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and look over here. So we have 1 plus 7. This number's already stacked up for us, right? So this one over here, we just added our tens and our ones together. Here, we're gonna be adding our hundreds, our tens, and our ones together. And remember, yesterday we were adding numbers together that they looked more like this. 234 plus 600, right? Where our tens and our ones place was pretty easy to add together, right? Because they were zeros at the end. Now today we're taking it just one step further and adding trickier numbers to our tens and ones places for both numbers. So that is the only difference, that's the only change that we're making from yesterday to today. We're just adding trickier numbers into our tens and ones places, okay? So let's go ahead and look here. So our first task is always, when we do our stacking method, it's always to add our ones place. So 1 plus 7 equals, if you had 7, you just get one more, is 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. All right, our tens place. What would we do to add 4 plus 3? What number is 4 plus 3? Go ahead and write it down. 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. And our last task, we can't, since there's a hundreds place here, we can't just drop it down like this, right? Because there was nothing there to add to it. But here we have two numbers to add together, which means 3 plus 3 equals what number? 3 plus 3? 6. 678. Alrighty, good job, my friends. Okay, so another thing that you're going to do today is with your thousands book. Let me grab mine really fast. All right, your thousands book, okay? So you should have already completed up through the number 400. Is that correct? All the way through the number 400. Miss Berger didn't fully fill out hers because I want you to be doing the work. I don't want you to look at mine and just copy off mine. So I only filled in a few of the numbers, okay? So what you're going to do for this is you're going to grab 2 colors that you would like to use for today. 2 colors. It can be any colors that you want. I'm going to be using a pencil and a blue pen, okay? A pencil and a blue pen. And we are going to go through this page here with 301 through 401. 301 to 401. And we're going to be doing skip counting. Let me make sure that you can see this okay. All right, you should be able to see that pretty well. Okay, so we're going to skip count first, starting with tens, okay? Starting with tens, we're going to go like this. 310, we're gonna circle it. 310. If I were to skip count again, I would get 320, 330. Do you see the pattern here? 340, 350, 360, 370, 380, 390, 400, okay? So that was my skip counting by tens. If you want to go through and look here like, oh, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, going all the way through to see that pattern that this row here is our count by tens, skip counting by tens. You can do that and use circle. For skip counting by tens, we circle. Okay, so let me make a little guide up here. So tens equals circle, okay? Tens are circling. Now we're going to skip count by fives. Ready? When I come across a number that I'm skip counting by fives by, I'm going to color in that box with whatever color you chose. Okay, so I'll start here. 305, 310, 315, 320, 325, 330. Okay, I'm not going to do all of that for you because I want you to be the one to finish the rest of it. Okay, but every time you skip count and find your number by 5, you're going to color it in with whatever color you chose. Are you starting to see the pattern here? You kind of start to see where those patterns are with our numbers, okay? And then, of course, we're going to skip count by 2s, okay? Skip counting by 2s. Pick whatever color you'd like. I'm just going to use this pencil here. And we're going to go by 2s. So 302, 304, 306, 308, 310, 312, 314, 316. Does that make sense? You're going to keep going through this whole page, okay? And then you should start to see some patterns start to form. I can see a pattern forming here. I see a pattern forming here. I see a pattern forming here. There's different patterns that are going to start to form as you start to color in your page, okay? So don't forget, pick out some different colors. Let me add to my key up here. So 10s you circle, 5s you color it, and then 2s you also color it with whatever colors you pick. My colors are kind of boring right now because I don't have my colored pencils with me, or crayons with me, but you can choose whichever fun colors that you want. You can even use a fun color for circling if you'd like. Okay, so that's your other math task. That does not have to happen before